Welcome back to the D3Hoops.com Classic from Las Vegas. I'm Dave McHugh, joined by Andy Partee, head coach of Colorado College. And, Coach, talking to you right after a thrilling, really come-from-behind victory over Willamette. Even though you guys led for about three-quarters of that game, they kind of came back at you, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But you got to be happy with how your team performed and winning 2 games here.
Yeah, we didn't have a good outing the first game against Clark. We led that game pretty much 3/4 away and let it get away. But tonight was kind of similar, and I was kind of happy to see that we responded a lot differently down the stretch the last 5 minutes. We dug a lot deeper and pulled it out.
Yeah, I should correct myself saying you won 2 games, played in 2 games, going 1-1 with Clark coming from behind that other one. And the other thing that was important was you guys lose your big guy, Chris Lazansky, late in the first half due to a cut. He has to kind of leave to go get stitches taken care of. You had said during the broadcast it's now a matter of going to kind of a center by committee type role, and a lot of guys saw a lot of playing time as a result.
Yeah, we are deeper than we've ever been, both at the guard and forward and center spot. So it was just a matter of time before I found the guy who was ready to come in and contribute the way he's capable of. Not a lot of guys get to take those minutes from Lesnansky because he's so dominant, but we can go deep if we need to, whether it's injury or foul trouble. And it was good to see that I'm able to do that. Whatever lies ahead for us, we got some guys some minutes tonight, and they hopefully come away with some confidence.
Talk a little more about Lesnansky in a minute, but before we let this game go, you guys had the lead for a lot of it. Willamette comes back, seems to be in control of the game for a good chunk, especially in the last 5 minutes. Almost felt like you guys gutted out that victory.
Yeah, I think what we did was we had to make some adjustments based on the foul trouble that we had up front. Without Lesnansky, the other 2 bigs had 2 fouls. And if we continued to force tempo and press a little bit, that might warrant a little bit more digging into the bench with fouls called. So I tried to protect those bigs by playing a little bit more zone and mixing it up. But there came a time when we couldn't sit back on our heels in the zone, and we had to just dig deeper and deeper and fight and pick up the pressure a little bit.
Lesnansky's got this unique characteristic where he seems like almost a free assistant coach for you.
Yeah.
You bring, not only on the floor, but when you bring him off onto the bench, give him a break. He's kind of coaching up the guys there after having a conversation with you. That's got to be a nice added bonus to have a player appreciate the game as much as he does.
It is. I mean, I think for a coach, what you want is you want someone amongst the peers to be an extension of the staff. It's not always going to be your point guard or your quarterback, who typically is, but to have a guy like Lesnansky, I don't think I've ever coached a guy with that much of a chip on his shoulder. He's got a competitive edge, almost too much to the point where even his own mediocrity, he won't let it go. The most important play is the next play, and he's still hanging on to the last play because he wants to be perfect. But it's kind of good to be able to say, hey, ratchet it down a little bit, because he's a guy on the court that's telling his teammates to ratchet it up. And it's a good balance. I think I like his competitiveness. And first and foremost, you can be talented, but if you know how to compete, you're not going to win. He knows how to compete.
And you're going to need that going into the SCAC conference this year. It's gotten a little bit deeper. Teams like Louisiana, Centenary, Louisiana have come into play now. Of course, Trinity, Texas is always a battle. You guys will get right into the teeth of it. You basically fly home and then fly right back out the door to get ready to get into conference action. How do you expect you guys to compete this year?
Well, I think we'll do well. We just got to get our depth to really be dependable. This is no year different than last in terms of who are the top 4. I think Texas Lutheran is going to emerge with the head coaching change from Schreiner, but that head coach at Schreiner last year was in the top 4. So you name the usual suspects: Trinity, Centenary. It's just going to be important for us to get off to a good start. Certainly this win gives us momentum going into the new year, and we're going to need it. And we still have guys injured. We had 2 starters have thumb surgery 3 weeks ago, and they're juniors. So my junior class is kind of ailing a bit, but we found some guys that can step up and replace them quite nicely.
And how much is it important to have this experience of traveling to Vegas? You guys have the toughest travel in the SCAC in the sense that you're flying almost everywhere to get to games. How much is this trip to Vegas kind of at least get those quote-unquote cobwebs kind of out of you guys early on?
Well, it's kind of nice to be able to establish some kind of a road routine. For us, there's really no bus trip in the league. It's get to the airport, check your bags, fly, get down on the ground and get some rental vans and get to the facility.
Yeah.
And for us, it's nice to be able to do something Christmas break before you get in the conference to kind of go through that kind of routine. Unfortunately for us, when we're playing in the SCAC, we lose an hour when we hit the ground.
I know.
So we try to get there early enough to at least get a practice in before it's midnight. But I think from class to class, it all trickles down in terms of what the young guys need to know and what to expect. But I think we have our routine down pretty good.
One of those rare schools that has an airline as a sponsor on their website, justifiably so.
Yeah.
Of course, you say routine here in Vegas. I have a feeling you also guys let your hair down a little bit.
We
had
did.
a little bit of fun. What'd you guys do while you were here, or what do you still have planned?
I think our guys kind of were divided in what they wanted to do in between the two games. Some went bowling, some went to the movies, and some went with their parents who tend to travel with the team during conference. They're here. Some went to dinner with their parents. So it was a mix of activity, but it's a great group of guys. I don't have to worry about them not being responsible when they're on the road. But I think we're going to let our hair down a little bit more tonight. But curfew's got to be a lot earlier. The 5 a.m. shuttle is picking us up to go to the airport.
Hopefully the weather keeps you guys. Not that you guys can't handle the weather. The city can't handle the weather. Hopefully you guys get out of town.
No need for delays.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Andy Partee joining us from Colorado College. Appreciate you taking the time, sir. We'll keep an eye on you guys as you enter SCAC play. And we'll have plenty more here from the D3Hoops.com Classic from Las Vegas.